They say a child's earlier education molds the person that he becomes in the years to come. I am Mithil Nanda, along with my co-host Ms. Zoya Khurana. We are here at Play Preschool, meeting with the CEO of Play Preschools and Mr. Shobhan Soi. So welcome.
Thank you so much.
So, and we would like you to start by giving a brief introduction about yourself, about the Play chain and how it came to be, the history behind it.
Okay. So, I'm born and brought up in an educationist family, and my father, all my relations, they're into an education, you can say, complete system. And so, being born and brought up into the field of education, and you're seeing teachers around you while you are growing up as a child, so it automatically becomes your passion, and somewhere you start dreaming into how you can make it better. So that is somewhere where it all started for Play, and that passion brought it in. And you see, we have been listening a lot about how things need to be transformed in the education system. There are so many WhatsApp messages, there are so many Facebook posts about
WhatsApp University.
Yes, WhatsApp University. So in all that thing, if I see somewhere deep inside, we thought there was always that revolutionary Shoban to bring that change. You never do not replace the other line. So that gave me the complete freedom to play with my thoughts, and that is where we evolved.
So, any story behind the name Clay?
Clay is a thing that can be molded easily. I mean, children, they come to us at a very tender age when they are very soft. They have that learning capability, and they can be easily molded into anything. So we feel lucky that we are catering to the youngest of the population of the country, who are going to maybe become the Prime Minister of the country, or maybe a part of the UN, or maybe holding the whole world in some or the other way. एक छोटा या बड़ा हर लीडर निकल के जाएगा हमारे यहाँ से. And that is, I think, what we believe is the philosophy of Play, and that is what we want to be.
So, how many schools are you currently running?
Right now, we are having 12 branches across North India. We have branches in Delhi, we have branches in Punjab, we have branches in Chandigarh, we have branches in Khurana, coming up in Jammu.
So, then, let's dive into the challenges that you are facing, especially in today's circumstances, COVID-19 new situation. We all know we are very reluctant to go out. There is a very genuine threat, there is a genuine pandemic going on. And our children, especially 2 to 4 year old, at that age, no parent would want to give an exposure or take any sort of risk. कोई अपना बच्चा बाहर बैठ के जल्दी नहीं गया. So that directly affects your running preschools, your setup, everything, your business. We would like to understand what specific challenges are you facing right now?
The challenges are huge. Today we are sitting in a school setup, and you see this beautiful building does not look beautiful when the children are not there. Of course, that's the biggest challenge. So we as educators are always surrounded by children, laughing, smiling faces, who are always jumping out of joy and coming and meeting you and hugging you. In all that, we are missing them.
I'm sure.
We are really missing them. For the last 3 months, we haven't seen those children. And our teachers are working from home. Working from home again is a challenge, because when you are getting to a 2-year-old child, you don't have that attention span that we can have classes online on a webinar or a Zoom platform or a platform. Children cannot attend a person even if they love that person. Even if they have to call up their grandparents, they would not talk more than 5 minutes to their grandparents at this age. So having that challenge of attention span of the children and making them learn in that environment, and when it was a complete lockdown, having parents getting the resources managed was a big challenge. Second big challenge is the economic situation that is there. This is, you see, as an industry, we get the new admissions in the month of March and April, and those admissions go on for a complete year. And by the end of the year, 60 to 70% of the children, they move to the formal school system. So all the 60 to 70% children have already left this space in all the preschools across the country, and the new entrants have not registered. So that was the time when all the preschools have already experienced a complete loss of the economic need. आपके पास टीम तो उतनी ही होती है, आपके पास स्टाफ उतना ही होता है, आपके पास सारे एक्सपेंसेस उतने ही होते हैं. Rather, if you talk about the northern part of the country, the summers they begin in the month of April, and air conditioning and all that cost starts coming up. जो इस साल अभी because the schools are closed down, so that cost is not being incurred, but you see that fixed costs are there, maintenance costs are there, interest rate costs are there, that is the other expenses are there. We have a lot of helper staff. Every classroom needs a separate helper team. So along with two teachers. So there's a lot of teaching and non-teaching staff in the school who needs to be paid.
Of course, and we have seen across various platforms protests happening across the country where parents are unwilling to give a school fees, and rightly so. There is no source of income. Incomes have been depleted. People don't have work. People are getting laid off. But अब जिस सिनारियो में नौकरियां जा रही हैं, we also try to see your perspective, the other side of it. कि जिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने स्कूल के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में, स्टाफ में, बच्चों में, हर चीज में इतना इन्वेस्ट किया हो, through an online education system, how do you think that system is feasible for the coming next few months?
See, financially it is not feasible. It will never be unless the volumes grow really well. If we talk about the online platforms for learning like Coursera and Udemy, we cannot compare with like Byju's. We cannot compare with those platforms. We are a physical infrastructure, and we are built up in the way to train children one-to-one in the classroom setup. Our teachers are trained to handle the special needs of children at that age. So all that cannot be delivered online. That automatically comes on the shoulders of the parents. And parents are right on their part. They feel that why should we pay for the services we have not used? Very true. I don't mind that. And at the same time, we are facing that challenge. We have very limited number of children at this point of time. New children could not join in, and the fee was not received. The fee still has not been received from so many children, and the challenges economically and infrastructurally are huge. So both ways, it is neither the like we can see neither the parent was at fault, neither the school was at fault, nor the teacher was at fault. It is the situation that the pandemic had come up, and we are the industry who is the last to open. The industries have opened, the shops have opened, but preschools cannot be opened since the child is less than 10 years of age. Even if the schools open, preschools will be the last ones to.
Of course. Okay. And I'm sure you would not like to take that risk also.
We definitely do not want to take that risk. Life is first. See, all this business and education can come later. Even if the child does not study for 2 years, 3 years, that will not bring any life threat to the child. Right. Yes, but the learning should happen.
You know that preschools are building blocks, that sir already said. The education system currently has been very monotonous, and there's very less change coming even over the years. How have you and your team been able to cope with that?
See, Zoya, I have a question to this. You learned that crime, tutorials are right? So what did you do with that in life?
Just recital remarks.
When the parents have to parade us around in front of relatives or friends, हमारे बच्चे को पोएम आके सुनाओ. I think उससे ज़्यादा.
You have a great question, and I love this question. I am always called a revolutionary educationist. I have always been speaking against the system, and I've always asked for trainings. See, early childhood education somewhere is missing a lot because it does not come under any government body. There are no budgets for this in the country. There is no जहाँ पे budget ही नहीं होगा वहाँ पे R&D कहाँ होगी? No one is interested to talk about it. And I would not say negative about all such things, but let's see what change we can bring in. So as Clay, we have tried to bring in all the required changes that were not at all useful for the child. So something that was not required to be learned and to be used anywhere in life, हमने उसको हटा दिया सिस्टम में, सबसे पहला बात. So we are not learning rhymes, we are listening to rhymes. Rhymes have a beautiful message. So if we have to talk about the night sky, we will definitely see a video of twinkle stuff, but we don't need to make the child learn and recite it in front of the people and do a recitation competition about it. We are not doing any fancy dress competitions. They make no use. अगर कोई मुझे कहे कि मुझे इस टाइम पे महात्मा गांधी बनते हैं, बैठना मुझे uncomfortable लगेगा. The same way the child also does not want to be. We are forcing the child to wear something which is different. It does give that stage exposure, but stage exposure doesn't mean that we make the child uncomfortable. So, if the child is willing to do that and wants to play a role, we have a lot of stage opportunities. Same way, we have a lot of learning opportunities, but they have to be age appropriate, they have to be development appropriate. If a child is at the age of 2 and does not know how to speak properly, and there is another child in the same classroom or in the same school, he is at the age of 3. Both cannot be taught the same time. The curriculum has to be adapted. So we have tried to design something which is called discovery-based learning. Just like you learn the mother tongue, I learned the mother tongue, but no one trained us in the mother tongue. We learned from whatever my mom was speaking. I started speaking that. So the language started emerging automatically. We started discovering that language. So that gives us the idea that the brain of the child discovers and learns automatically. So for us, the system should be so that we give them everything in that environment and they come in that environment and learn. The environment has to be learning adaptive. We cannot make them push learn or make them rote learn something. Same way, I remember when we used to get our holidays homework, we used to get 50 pages. I don't know if you used to get that, but we used to get 50 pages of writing to improve our handwriting in the summer break. That was the worst thing I used to do. Yeah, you are another generation.
So see, that shows
the challenge that is happening. Today we are adapting to the online systems and today we are adapting the technology in a preschool. So there is a lot of change happening. We don't have a school diary. We have never introduced a school diary because the child cannot write a diary. So the teacher has to write a diary. She has to write it for 12 or 15 children, and you know the children at that time. They are not allowed to. And the diary would have message being delivered in 24 hours and its feedback coming in another 24 hours, so 48 hours communication. In the world where we use WhatsApp, which goes in a millisecond. So we have to change and we are trying to bring that change. And we are speaking about that change as well. So that other educators are also influenced and a lot of people start adapting those changes. We don't require to spend money on a lot of resources which we don't require now. So I think that answers your question.
And in terms of adaptability, as you said, you shared that आपने curriculum maybe now, even of the online models, you've adapted quite a few techniques or different methodologies. You were the first one, I think, in India to adapt an online model for preschools. We, since our team is in-house and we have the complete educators and curriculum makers and designers and everyone inside. We have a complete IT team who could work on the technology part when no one was aware how to go on the online systems. So all that happened in just a quick thing, and since the lockdown started from 22nd of March and 25th of March we already had started the classes, and people were not even aware that something online would be started. So we were that quick, and the well-trained team would think of and produce those things in-house. We were not dependent on what to teach from outside. We tried to develop the curriculum when the children could learn at home in the lockdown, all the resources could be managed at home, and all their developmental aspects, all their multiple intelligences could be covered. And we did not leave a single thing. The best part was that even every single written message that went to the parent and every single activity that went to the parent, we've done almost more than 200 activities in these days. So all those activities
clearly mentioned what kind of development will happen in the child after this activity and what would be the outcome. The parent could clearly see that the child has learned this thing, for this is the outcome in the child. And the parents would agree if they see this message that children have really learned in these 60 days. They really shaped their better. I would say. अगर ऑनलाइन करिकुलम ना जाता, अगर होम बेस्ड लर्निंग ना जाती इंडिया के किसी भी प्री स्कूल से, तो it would have been very difficult for the parents to manage, because as parents we do not know what to do with the child. We know certain few activities, we do not know what to do. So the teachers played a very vital role, and they really helped support the parents into how to be very
So you say that your teachers will be conducting those offline and like in school classes and online classes.
Yes, we may need to do that, and we are prepared for that.
Keeping in mind that they will have to work double the time than they usually do.
See, when it comes for the children and when it comes for the country, we have to. Our doctors are also working very hard. Our police people are also working very, very hard. So what if we have to work some extra hours and do it for the children? It is not for money. It is definitely for the service.
Being an educator, I think the priority is always education to the children.
It has always been. If I remember my teachers, they've always told us, आपको कोई भी problem हो, आप हमें कभी भी बताओ, call करो. And every teacher is like that. Whoever is a teacher at core, at heart, they would always not say कि आप इतने घंटे हमारे से पढ़े थे, दोस्त extra ऐसा नहीं होता. Money does not come into the education at all. See, the money that is there is for the premium infrastructure that we are providing to the parents. It is never for evaluating the education. हमने ये वाला lesson आपको ज़्यादा सिखा दिया था. ऐसा नहीं होता. Money is never for the education. Education is priceless.
So, अभी आपने जैसे बोला, you invested heavily in the creating the infrastructure, the beautiful school that we are in. Now, online education. For preschoolers, my son is 3 years old. So when I see him taking an online class, so the attention span is anywhere not more than 20 minutes that he would sit where the teachers make a very genuine and a very dedicated effort कि वो बच्चों का ध्यान लगे और वो कुछ सीखे. I see that the teachers are doing it, but for a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year-old, it is very difficult to actually capture that attention over an online class. So how do you how do you come around that particular thing, the attention span of a child?
See, the children are not designed to learn online on a screen. They need physical energy activities. They need to do some fine motor skills. They would love to tear, they would love to build, they would love to throw, they would love to run around, they would love to have a lot of physical energy. We cannot run like them. So they are all the time running and playing on the gyms and the playstations. Now, in the home environment, some houses, some people are living in flats, some have big gardens. So, हर तरह के different household है everywhere. Given that every child needs physical development, it becomes a challenge to give activities which will require a lot of physical space and infrastructure to run around in the home. So, I think it is advisable to have a home-based learning system. We do not call it online learning, we call it a home-based learning system where we are giving them appropriate activities and whatever best they can do out of those activities they do. And the parent has to play a role, they have to play a partnership. We cannot say कि हमने स्कूल के ऊपर छोड़ दिया है तो and we have just delegated our responsibility on the maid or the school or the teacher and we are free of it all. Yeah, we have paid to the school and the school is free. The parent has to play the participant. No, it comes on the shoulders of the fathers also when they are at home now.
It does. I can testify to that.
Yes, even I am a father. You are a father of the same age group. I think we have been.
So I think we gained a lot of insight from Shoban as to how the preschool industry would work in the coming years, and I hope our viewers could. I'm sure they did benefit a lot from what you had to share, and we thank you, Shoban, for your time and all your inputs.
Thank you so much.